Hello, it's Brittany here with Ohana Oracle, and today we're gonna be going through the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck. And this is by Matt Hughes. It's a very beautiful deck, and it's a great value deck. It's relatively cost-effective on Amazon. I believe it's anywhere from $13 to $18. The price tends to sway a little bit. I've had this deck for about 5 months now, and you'll hear me say this a lot, but this is one of my favorites. I just really love the energy of this deck, and I tend to come to it a lot. It also has a really sturdy, beautiful card stock, and all of the cards have the beautiful gold foiling. Likened to the ᵗ'ᵐᵉ deck is another one with that gold foiling on the box, but it doesn't have it throughout the cards. Where this one, all of the cards have that beautiful gold foiling. So I love this deck. The box is about the sides of the cards, a traditional tarot sizing, and the top is what has that gold foiling all around it. Just really beautiful. Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck. Has the High Priestess on the front. The bottom of the box is just pretty traditional and has a little note on the back regarding Matt, who says he's drawing inspiration from the Art Nouveau movement. He has his distinctive style. It's just really beautiful. I love the box because it's very sturdy. It's not like a lot of the µ'ᵗᵉ decks just have a very I don't want to say cheap box, but because I don't want to be negative, but it really just feels like a cheaper box. So it's hard to keep the decks in them for long without the box breaking. This one has a nice sturdy, steady box. It has a paper manual. The paper manual, it does read reversals, so this is a great deck for you if you read reversals. The outside of the deck, no matter which way you put it, it's going to be the same thing, so you don't know which way it's coming out. Which always bothers me when they read reversals but then have an image on the outside that lets you know when it's reversed. I don't know why in particular. The introduction in the guidebook is very light. It doesn't have any spreads for you, so this deck doesn't have unique spreads for you, but it does a pretty good job of outlining each of the cards. It starts with the major arcana, explaining just how it's the journey. Well, instead of talking about how it's the journey of enlightenment, it talks about it's the journey of the fool, which to me is the journey of enlightenment, knowing we're all foolish and starting to move forward from there. But Matt tends to have a little bit of a different interpretation to that. I love how he does the astro correspondence to all of the cards. He has for the major arcana an energy of what the Fool represents, as well as an upright and a reversed connection to it to help you just understand a little bit more what it means when it's in the opposite direction. So throughout the major arcana, it has that for all of them. The astro correspondence, a connection with the card, the energy of the card, and what it's really trying to tell you. The Hangman is an indication that it's time to end old ways and release restrictions that are holding you back. Then it goes to the upright. It's time for a sacrifice, a release, a new perspective. If it's reversed, it's just acknowledging that you're in indecision, you're in delusion, you're in delay, and maybe you're not ready to hear this, but it's time to. So something like that for all of those major arcana. And then and then there are two, we'll see them going through the cards, there's two more major arcana that he adds in there, the Well and the Artist. So this major arcana deck, it's not 1 to 21, and instead 1 to 23, ending with the Artist, which I find very beautiful. And then we get into the minor arcana. And I think it's funny, I always, when I'm going through the deck, I'm a yoga instructor, so I love the elements, and it's so important to me that air leads to fire, leads to water, leads to earth, because it's just my understanding of it all on that journey to enlightenment. But I find it interesting which ones that the different decks start with. This one he starts with cups, and he starts explaining the suit itself, the element connected with it, the corresponding astro signs, and the direction, which is really cool. The more you learn about tarot, the more you learn about the science really behind it. And I find it interesting, a lot of decks will start their readings with the royal family and then go forward from there. And he does this, Matt does this, where he starts the guidebook, each of the suits with the royal family before going into each of the numbers. You'll see here it doesn't have that description like it did before, but instead just an upright and a reversed meaning for each of the suits. But it does have that description for each of the suits itself. Sorry, each of the cards I meant to say before. So pretty standard here. Unique way of doing it, having that royal suit first. Ends with the wands, ends with passion, which is really cute. So again, it's just so interesting to see how people decide to stage their guidebooks when you're going through this. So that's the Ethereal Visions guidebook. Let's move this over to the side and start tapping into the cards. I'm going to actually flip this over because I have the major arcana on the bottom for this one. So we have the Fool. Now, this is the back of the cards. I will say I love this deck, but I am not crazy about the back of the cards. I just want to put my one real big complaint in the middle of this video. I just don't get it. And it feels like someone's coming out and trying to eat me here. So I just always have like, my dogs are named Lilo and Stitch, and it reminds me of like a scary Stitch. So maybe that's personal to me, but just checking that out. Other than that, I just love this deck. So we have the Fool. I kind of need to go quickly through this because I feel like I talked a lot before. The Magician. The High Priestess. She's so distinguished. I love that. I also love seeing male interpretations of cards. They just, male and females just have such a different way of connecting with the humanness of them all. The Emperor, just so distinguished. I love how the Empress, in so many decks, the Empress is like the badass and the High Priestess is the gentle one, and this one is kind of reversed. But then here we have the Emperor as the badass and the Hierophant as that gentle one. It's very traditional imagery, similar to the Rider-Waite. Oh, I love this chariot. I always love the depictions of the chariot with the two horses, the dark and the light, becoming one with both forces, so crucial in our journeys towards enlightenment. Beautiful. I haven't done it yet, but I do plan on doing a video kind of demystifying the science behind tarot. So if you're interested in any of this, look at this Justice one, sorry. The Justice one with her eyes looking up. Oh wow, I didn't notice that before. That is so funny. She does not seem to love balance, this Justice lady. But I was saying I'll be going through to help demystify a little bit of how this tarot can be used as a journey for your own enlightenment and understanding the stages you're going through. So when you're drawing for yourself or for others, it just can feel more positive and less scary. You know, a lot of the dark connections with tarot. Oh, I love this guy. That's a frightening, or dark, right? Dark connections with tarot. Devil. A tower. Said it before, I love when they show someone being thrown off a tower. Oh, so many of these tower moments and the journey towards enlightenment. If you're somebody who practices any kind of Zen or, you know, unifying, harmonizing practice to bring you back to the light. The Moon. I love this Moon connection here. The Moon can be, you know, a little bit of a delusive card representing intuition. This one, she's just so gorgeous sun. Such a gorgeous sun. Judgment. peace. Getting through our own judgment before we have the world, before we hit that enlightened thought, that connection with all of life. Beautiful. What a strong chick, right? And then we have this well here, coming to the end of the world and then just looking over the edge. And then his last major arcana is the artist, looking over the edge of the world and starting to take it in, make it our own and create with it, which I just find such a cool way to end the major arcana. I find this one funny. The Ace of Swords is a, mental clarity, and I find it so easy grabbing onto the sword with mental clarity. Like, why you can't touch that? Ain't that what that's for? Two of Swords, working through our own victim mentality. This very classic heartbreak. That gold foiling just makes it prettier. Four of Swords is one on meditation. I love how here he's putting the sword down, thinking about what he's done. Five of Swords, all those swords dropped in reflection. Six of Swords, dropping the burdens, putting them out to sea. That deceptive seven, right? He looks sneaky. Bound in our own issues. I find the 2 and the 8 to be so similar. 9 of Swords. Swords are air, element air. Whew. This is very typical formatting, right? Those familiar with tarot of that 10. Looks like a child though, so it gets me a little bit. Page of Swords. Oh, what I love about this deck is he does do the pages as women, so it does get that royal family vibe of the traditional. I gotta say, I love a lot of the decks with where they change that up, because I just love the artist and the energy, but it always kind of bothers me a little bit when it's not that balanced family of, the daughter, the son, the mom, and the dad. This King of Swords is badass, right? I find her to not be like, she's just kind of looking down. Where the Queen of Swords is traditionally depicted as like, don't fucks with me, but like she's a little bit more like, okay, I'm trying to help you, not fucks with me. He though, he's scary. Scary King of Swords. Ace of Wands. So beautiful. Our passion cards are fire. 2 of Wands. Just such a beautiful deck. You can see it has very pastel colorings to it. I love this image. It's on the box. So beautiful. I kind of wish that was the back, Oh, that'd be so good. The 5 of Wands. Harmless little challenges. There's 6. 7. The 8 is so traditional like this. The 8 is almost always just like this, which I love. I just think it's such a cool image. 9. Still defensive. Figuring out what to use passion for, right? Carrying the weight that gives us strength. And that is a woman, even though it kind of looks like a dude with those shoulders. He has some real strong-ass women in here. I love doing these reviews because I get to see them a little bit differently. So thank you all for inspiring this. King of Wands is so much friendlier than the King of Swords. And as always, feel free to just fast forward through this. I try to do this at a pace where you can kind of take time with each of them. Figure out how you like them, how you love them, how you want more of them. Really hoping this comes out clear on the video. This camera is really beautiful for getting the depth of focus, but sometimes it's a little too close up. I have a hard time getting it far enough back. Oh, such a beautiful Five of Cups. Those two cups are standing up behind you. My doggies are making a little bit of noise in the back. Oh, that creepy little 7, right? Take off your mask. Let go and walk away from that stuff you don't need. And then you will find your contentment. Your divine love. Oh, that divine love. Page, pretty page. Badass knight, right? Oh, so whimsical, the Queen of Cups. As she should be, right? Oh, King of Cups looks like a sexy Jesus, right? Ooh, look at you. Look at you, as you should. As you should, fine sir. Rounded new beginning. Balancing act. To get stuff grounded, to move with intention. And work with others, to keep our coins, to value those we love, to protect them, still be generous and giving, to take time to enjoy the fruits of our labors. So beautiful. This one's typically a little bit more family oriented here. It has the dog, which I guess is really family. Young man starting off. That page, another woman that kind of looks like a man. Queen of Pentacles, she's so beautiful. Her husband, though, mismatches sometimes. Like he's grounded, so he got the young one, right? All right. Well, there we are. There's our review of our Ethereal Visions Tarot by Matt Hughes. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please like this video if you like it, if it helped you connect with what you're looking for. If you'd like this deck, I'll put the Amazon link below again. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Namaste, and I hope you're doing well. Bye.